All right, thanks for remaining with us. The Lagos State government has taken charge of its inland waterways after the Court of Appeal decided that Lagos State lawmakers now have the power to legislate on the state's inland waterways.
Now, correspondent Adedoja Salam Adeni joined the Lagos State government officials on an inspection of the waterways.
It's another inspection, and it's once again on water.
The Lagos State government officials are visiting for the second time in 1 week to see the series of work done on these waterways, including creation of routes, court channelization, and the construction of jetties.
The intent of the channelization is to make everything even. So we are going to maintain a minimum depth of 4 meters. So whatever ferry or boat or cruise ship that is allowed will be able to apply without any danger. In the process of doing that also, we are going to remove whatever obstacle in the waterway.
There's no way that water transportation on the one hand can flourish, and then tourism on the other hand, without a clean, neat, waterways. That's why the environment family is here to look at the areas where we need to clean up in a sustainable manner, and that's why we are here.
There are more structures on this area that I cannot imagine. And we will do so many schemes and layout. And this type of settlements that we are seeing will be incorporated in our master plan.
We can see the need for generation of taxes by the various entertainment and leisure spots, like the resorts that are along the waterfront.
As we sail through the Snake Island, Ikoyi, Ebutero, Marina, and Ilashe, we saw illegal dredgers who are the main cause of accidents on the waterways.
Task force came here to raid the people doing the illegal dredging, and they've been charged to the court.
Water hyacinth is another problem.
It's a seasonal issue. Right now we have 2 machines to harvest them, grind the water hyacinth, and we dispose of them.
Ojo route is one of the 30 routes slated for channelization. The pathway would prevent boats from getting stuck in shallow parts of the lagoon, like this. We had a stopover at Ilashe community near the Atlantic Ocean, where the beach house is situated.
This is one of the beautiful hidden treasures in Lagos State right now. And a lot of people actually come here, particularly on Sundays. They come in the morning, spend the whole day here till the evening. Now, one of the things that Lagos State government is trying to ensure is, as much as we want to key into the tourism as well, we also want to ensure that the environment is clean, is safe, and is functional.
The Ilashe visit ended the day's inspection.
Meanwhile, the beauty of the state of aquatic splendor cannot be overemphasized on these waterways. Adedoja Salam Adeni, TVC News, Lagos.
Can you
It's so
imagine
interesting.
living in Lagos and you didn't even know there was
I never knew there was a
such
place like that in Lagos.
spectacular,
That's really interesting.
areas. It means that the Lagos State Waterways Corporation has a lot to do to enlighten Nigerians on the beauties around, especially when it comes to the water.
There's so much money to generate from
So much, and yet it only accounts for about 1% of passenger traffic in Lagos. Well, we have the CEO of Lagos State Ferry Services right here with us in the studio, Adebayo Kalejaye. Adeboye, I beg your pardon. Adeboye Kalejaye. It's good to have you on the breakfast show. So we have this kind of beauty, and we're just going, wow, wow, wow. While that report was going on. 54% of Lagos is covered with water, and yet waterways transportation accounts for only 1%.
Yeah, we must understand the reasons for that. Let me also say that water transportation predates even road transportation. But we've not paid particular attention to water. But kudos to the government of Akinwumi Ambode, who has decided to take a leap step into addressing issues on our waterways. The waterways is a resource that is available for use. It's likened to our roads also. But then, as expansive as the waterways is as a resource, it must be properly harnessed to be able to put it into effective utilization. And what do I mean by this? It's not enough to see the expanse of water as it exists and feel that you can just jump into it and do your, ferry transportation. or you can do dredging, and you can do all of those things. There must be some activities that must have taken place on our waterways before it becomes very useful and safe. And one of the first things to do is to do the dredging, channelization, and lighting up all our waterways. As we have it today, everybody uses the waterways. There are no demarcations. The dredgers are there carrying out their own activities. The fishermen are there. You know, the ferry operators are there. But what the government of Lagos State has decided to do by the, you know, the video we've just seen is to begin the channelization of our waterways. It will make it safer, it will make it navigable, it will make it safe. So that has commenced.
Yeah, when you say channelization, break it down. What does it mean to channelize the water? Yes,
when we channelize the water, it's compared to your, you know, doing your roads, tarring it and making it motorable.
Okay.
You see, the boats require certain depth of meters to be able to operate without hindrance. You also understand there are wrecks on water. Wrecks are things like ferries, like boats that have become dilapidated, that got sunk inside water. They become an impediment in terms of ferry operations. As you move on water, if you hit any of those, you know, wrecks underneath the ground, it could make the boat to capsize. So dredging will bring out all of those things. Dredging will, like the Honorable Commissioner for Waterfront explained, we're dredging 4 meters deep. If your boat does not have the normal depth of operation, it may get stuck in water. It may get slowed down. So this is what is ongoing. Right now, that we have identified 30 routes to be dredged and channelized, and we're commencing with 6 of those routes. We're starting from Ojo to Marina as the first phase, and then we'll continue from there. So in water transportation, you must provide, you know, make the resource usable. You must provide the infrastructure beyond dredging. You must also provide jetties, terminals. And after providing jetties, which is the infrastructure that enables you to be able to embark and disembark when you're on waterways, there must also be the rolling stock. The rolling stock is the ferry that operates on our waters. And so Lagos State is taking charge of the 3 components at the same time. Right now we're dredging, we're doing more jetties and terminals. We are also, you know, procuring, you know, ferries. As I speak with you, we are procuring 7 brand new world-class ferries for Lagos.
That's interesting. I mean, to hear you say Lagos State is taking charge over and over again, it sounds quite, you know, heartening. But you have some private, you know, practitioners in the ferry business who are saying that Lagos State is simply monopolizing that sector, and it's making it very difficult for private participation in the sector. Can Lagos State really sustain it? I mean, since they say government has no business in business.
Okay, let me correct that impression.
Okay.
Lagos State is not monopolizing. Lagos cannot monopolize its operations on waterways. It's like the road. We have the lag bus operating on our roads. That does not preclude the taxi operators, the other bus operators, and everybody, even the car users. Those who use the water are of 3 categories. You have the government, which is represented by Lagos Ferry Service, which is how to provide a model service, like an example for other private commercial operators to emulate. It's just going to provide a model service. And then, like, you have your lag bus, you know, operating. Then after then,
setting the standard
so that you say, physician, heal thyself. So that's what government is trying to do. We have not been able to really provide a model service for people to emulate, so which is what the governor Akim Mambode is doing. Secondly, you have the commercial operators. They are operating as we speak today. But all you need to do operate as a commercial line, you know, operator is to get licensed. Lagos State Waterways Authority licenses, you know, those who want to do commercial operations. And that is to say, you must come and explain to us, if you have the wherewithal to be able to plow on our waters, there are minimum standards you must meet before you put your boat on ferry. So that is being regulated by There is also the private owners, those who own their private, you know, boats and ferries, those who have their private jetties. So it's not, it cannot be monopolized. I think the fear of some private operators is the fact that government, you know, Lagos State government will regulate. They have to enjoy some kind of holidays from the federal authority who is not regulating sufficiently well. So now that government has, the appeal court has given us the responsibility to take charge of our intra-inland waterways, we must also define what is intra-inland waterways. Intra-inland waterways does not give us the authority to operate on the tidal waters. It doesn't give us the license to operate on international routes. It doesn't, give us the license to operate on marine waterways. These are the exclusive preserve of the federal government. But then what we've had in the past is that there has been an incursion, an erosion into the intra-inland waterways. The intra-inland waterways of Lagos are waters that start from Lagos and terminate on our territory. So, but then there is an incursion, which of course we're trying to, which
is that part of the reason you went to court?
Exactly.
Okay.
So in this court resolution now, is it applicable to other states as well, not just Lagos State? Because when Lagos is given the go-ahead, you can own your own waterways, does it apply to states also like River State or Delta State or Kogi State or Benue State who also have waterways within their...
You agree with me that Lagos sets the pace.
Okay, very, very. You can say that.
Once we get it right, others will
always
But
follow.
we are pursuing this agenda because Lagos will always pursue its right at any time, to ensure that there is true federalism, that is proper fiscal federation, and is proper devolution of powers.
Well, it's good to know that Lagos State is stepping up to the plate. I mean, I drove from Ikorodu to Ajah the other day. I spent 3 hours, and it was on a good day. No traffic. Wow. Now, imagine if, the ferry service from Ikorodu to Ajah was fantastic. It'll just take 5 minutes.
Exactly.
It will take you like 25 minutes.
25 minutes
by ferry.
By ferry.
And of course, the ferries utilization on our waters give you speed. It saves your time, and of course, it's also safe.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Deboye Kalejaye, Lagos State Ferry Services Corporation. We will be plying the ferries. That you can be sure of.
Thank you.
We look forward to it.
You're not afraid of going on water.
Nobody is always good.
Like summer.
Is always good.
Thank you so much.
Stay with us on the program. When we come back, we'll be talking about Saudi Arabia and the fight against corruption in that kingdom. Stay with us on TVC Breakfast.